organized here. Hope you here. Wait a few minutes for everyone to get here. See the live chat. Can you see me or can you hear me? Let me know. I know there's a delay. I'm not seeing anything yet on my screen. Can you see me? I'm not seeing you on my screen yet, anyone, so I thought I'd go back here and check it out again. See? There. Hi, Shannon. Hi, Patty. Thank you. Yep. Oh, my light is super bright. Sorry about that. I will try to do what I can do to cover that up. All right, you'll have to let me know if you don't hear me because my camera's up above me, and it's a delay. Anyway, while people are coming, I thought maybe I'd go over the subscription products for the month of March. I have the small stamp of the month here. It's called Snailed It. And I have a card actually going to be posted on Sunday where I use this card. And if anyone wonders, I use stamp pockets that I get online, and I store 2 in each. So this was last month? No, this was a couple months ago, but I store them together 2 in a box. So I thought I would show you. I'm going to move this down so I can make sure I'm seeing. Sorry, I wanted to playing with my tablet. I haven't been live on YouTube before, just on Facebook. So, but this is how I stow those. And then in the box, I don't have the whole box, but I have the stamp set, and I thought I'm going to do that last. I know we get ribbon, and we get sequins, and you get the conversational clippings, which you can do foil. I know you get some of the papers, and then the stamp set and die, which I will get to last because that's what I'm going to play with tonight. I just got the die of the month, so I haven't played with this yet. This is my plan for the weekend, is to get it out and play with that. But I didn't have it today. So, but I thought I'd show a couple of the other things. This is the stencil of the month. It's called Delicate Flower, I believe. And this is a card. Hi, Michelle. Thank you. This is a card I made using that. I used some Simon Hurley inks, and then before I cleaned off my stencil very carefully, and then I used the Fallen Snow glitter glaze over the top to make this card. So, and then this is the this is from Christopher Sentiments, and I did that on vellum with some of the glitter stock paper, and then I just used some other things for my stash. And then this was an add-on stencil called Ladybug Roses, I believe. Hi, Lori. Hi, Annie. Yeah, okay, sorry. Thanks, Shannon. The inspiration box is sold out, but some of these items are available individually. Here's a card I made. I think I've shared this already. Maybe I haven't. Well, then sneak peek, using Raven glitter glaze, and this is the alabaster. I did one, and just very carefully did that, and then I just pulled a die from my stash. And am I on camera good? Okay. And then I haven't made a card yet with the Bed of Roses stamp set yet, but you can see I've used it. But I did use one with a couple of purple glitter glazes. I just did a little bit of the light first and then the dark, and I just haven't put it on a card yet. So, and then of course, last but not least, here is the stamp set that came in the box, which it's available separately, and the coordinating die. I store all my dies in the pockets with them, and these are the cards I just shared on Sunday, I believe, that I made using some Copic markers, and I don't know if I had aqua pigments for sure on this one. Was it chroma glaze? It was one or the other. I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look, but I wanted to show you know, that you can use them to cut out and make some fun cards. But I thought tonight what we would do, let me move those off to the side, is if you saw the, that's awesome, Lori, it's really fun. If you saw the, I don't know if you saw the little screenshot I sent or something, but these are the cards I thought maybe we would make tonight, using some of the smaller stamp sets from the set, because sometimes we overlook those. Sorry if I got quiet, I forgot I put the stamp set away. So I thought it'd be fun just to play with them, and then I grabbed some other sentiments from some other some Burgers and Roll sets. But I took each one of the little flourish or stems with flowers on them and leaves on them, and decided that's what I would stamp out. So we will start with that. Oh, thanks, Shannon. It was really fun to make these. I was really excited. So I have I'm going to use my mini Misty because I already had it all set up in here. But I did want to say that, you know, most of the time I already had them in here, but I usually use my large Misty, and I keep my stick and stamp mat right in it when I'm using it. As you can see, it's very well loved. But I already had them set up from when I was making my samples, so I thought I would just leave them. So what I like to do is I like to get them all lined up, and I'm using the Perfect Blend alcohol marker cardstock because it's my favorite for coloring. And I just re-inked my ink pad, so hopefully it's not too juicy because I noticed it was a little bit needed a little bit. Please let me know in the comments if I get off screen a little bit. I can't see both the chat and the screen at the same time, so we need a mini stick and stamp magnet. Yeah, there we go. So we just have that, and when it comes to little dies or sentiments, I try to tap depending on how sticky my mat is, and I noticed I must have rubbed this with the wrong towel, so I have a little bit of fuzzies on the one stamp, so I'll have to clean this over well, but I already have some kind of ready to go. I thought I had one stamped out already, but I must not have. But what then I like to do is I'm going to clean my stamps really quick, make sure they're nice and clean here. I need some squeaky clean here because it looks like I wiped it with the wrong cloth and got some fuzzies on them. So we don't want to have fuzzies on our stamps, right? Okay. So what's everybody up to tonight? Was the weather good? We finally got to almost 60 degrees, and I had to take my sweater off at work because I got hot. Hi, Julie. Thanks for joining me. Julie and Lori are my friends from here in town, and we craft together quite frequently, or when we can anyway. Lori and I just did the staycation together, and then we have a group that gets together once a month that tries to craft. And what kind of squeaky clean was I using? This was the hydrangea for the matte mist because it was handy. I think it's I don't know if it's in stock right now, but it should be coming back. My favorite is the cinnamon hearts, but I don't know where it is right now because my other bottle's empty. And I know I have the hot chocolate here somewhere, which I really need to use up. Oh, here's my cinnamon hearts. I'll use that because I love that smell. And I have a little bit of a cold, so I apologize. And I am, for some reason, getting a bump with my Misty and not getting it. There we go. I know that sometimes I don't get my magnet out of there right away, and you're not supposed to store your magnet in your Misty. I don't have the new ones. You're supposed to store your magnet on the back or another place. So anyway, so that's what I like to do, is I like to stamp it once and then flip it around. So I'm going to let that dry for just a second because my ink pad is super juicy, and I will clean my stamps. I'm going to leave them in my Misty for now, though. I will put them away later. I use the Raven Detail ink. It's my go-to ink for everything black. Even when I'm heating embossing, I just do it really quickly if I want to use it. But I love it. I love to Copic color. I'm not super comfortable with watercoloring yet. Trying to get better at it, but I'm not perfect at it yet. Or not perfect, I shouldn't say perfect, but not comfortable with it yet. It's out of my box zone. So, yeah, I saw the Jelly Bean Squeaky Clean came in. I don't know if I've had that before, but I'm going to do some really quick Copic coloring today. These are small images, so I didn't know. I want to make sure these are on screen. I'll put the caps down for you. Hopefully you can see them. But I basically just, for the yellow, I'm just doing a little bit of, better double check and see how I did color them. I just did a little yellow in the middle of the white daisies with the Y08. And then with the Y, I just did the W1, I'm sorry. I just did a little bit around the outside and a very little bit on each one of the little dabs. And then I think I also did this small one. So I have some ready, but I thought I'd do a little show how I color these. And then what I do is I take my colorless blender and I just kind of go over the white a little bit so that or the gray a little bit, so it kind of blends out into white. You have a problem with you collect them and use them on everything. I love them too. I try to use them as much as I can, and then I apologize when I'm at crafting things and say, sorry you guys, it's going to smell like chocolate for a while because I'm using this, but you know, they're so fun. I love them. So then for the pink, which is the rest of the flowers are going to be, I'm going to do the RV02 and RV55. And after this is uploaded, I will see if I can get those in the descriptions, the colors I used. Oh shoot, I just made a boo-boo, but that's okay. I'm not using these today. I wasn't supposed to color those. So just a quick color on them. And then what I do, so I'm going to do a little bit of coloring for shading. See, I did the wrong. I was not even paying attention. I have a little bit of a cold. I wasn't supposed to color those pink. That's all right. We're just going to go with it. Can I just put a little bit of the dark pink under here? And I forgot to do this flower. And then I go back with the light pink. And I just blend it out a little bit more so it kind of bleeds into it. And then I'm going to, yep, I use the Sizz, I'm sorry, I don't know if that's on screen, YG63. I'm just going to quick, I try to be, when I do things like this, I kind of am careful and try to go fast, but yet not go out the line, but I'm not terribly worried if I go out the line, because I have a little trick. If I wait long enough to let it dry, I can just use the colorless blender to push it back in. But if I don't, I have a little trick here. I'll show you in a minute. And like I said, I'm just coloring all the leaves real quick. And then I just took, and I like to color everything the same color, especially when I'm coloring small images. If I color a big image, I like to try to get the whole, work on one area at a time. And I just took YG67. I'll say hi to my mom just in case. She was going to try and watch, but I don't know if she's watching on something and can chat. So I just want to say hi to her just in case. So just add a little bit of that. And then I don't know if you can see because it's with the delay. I don't know if I can get it up there that close, but I don't always get to the tips of all the leaves when I went to the first time. So then I'm going to go back, and when I blend them out, then I make sure I go real careful and kind of get those last couple spots, because I've never seen a white leaf on a plant. I mean, I've seen a variegated leaf, but not a white leaf. So, and then I just kind of blend them out a little bit. And that was easy peasy, right? And then, like I said, you can use the colorist blender to push this back, but what I like to use is a white gel pen of any kind. And thanks, Annie. Yeah, Elizabeth is my sister, so she wanted to watch and come out and see me tonight. And I just color over that a little bit. If I have a little green, you know, I just put it in, and I just, or I dot it if it's a troublesome area, and then I let them dry, and before I die cut them out. But I wanted to show you how easy these line up. They just line up so quick and easy. You just push them right in, and I use some low-tack tape, and I cut them all out, which my die cut machine is over. Thanks, Michelle. My die cut machine is over on my other table, and it's kind of, I didn't want to move it to my table. I don't have a big space. So I thought I would just, through the magic of live TV, live YouTube, I have them all die cut already in my little bowl. So let me move this stamp and die set out of the way. So I have a bunch of images that I pre-colored and pre-cut, and I'm just going to get them lined up here, if that's all right. Sure. And then this is the fun part. You know, when I started to make these cards, design these cards, I just stamped out like four or five of each one, and then I cut them, and then I just started to play and see what did I like and what did I not like. Okay, I might move these up a little further. So we're gonna do this card first. And how I did this card is I have just a piece of white cardstock. I cut it down with a rectangle die from my stash, and I think it's 4 by 5 1/4. Yes, because this will be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 for an A2 standard American A2 size card. So I just have a piece of white cardstock, and how I did this was I just found a circle die that I liked the shape of, and I put it down in to the top of my front of my card. So I'm just gonna let the video catch up just a little bit. And then I took my leaves, and oh, I forgot to separate these out. I need the ones with just the berries on them. And I just laid them down on the front of my circle die cut here. You could use a circle, you could draw a pencil. Like if you didn't have a die cut, you could lightly draw a pencil with a pencil, like around a container. If you have a punch, you could punch out a circle piece, and it's okay if they don't stay perfectly, because I will fix them in a minute. And I just kind of laid them so they were spaced as close as possible to each other. I thought it would be fun if you can use, you know, flowers is coming in right now with the spring. Can we use up as many, you know, these smaller stamps and dies as possible? I had to move them over just a little bit to get one more in here. And then, like I said, it doesn't have to be 100% perfect. I'm just going to zhuzh around here a little bit. All right, and then once I kind of like what I have, my little trick is press and seal. If you've never used press and seal before. Thanks, Shannon. And you could do this with, I mean, think of this with red berries. You could make a Christmas card. And anyway, I have just a small little piece of press and seal. Press and seal. I'm just gonna stick it down on top. And I'm just gonna turn it over and voila, peel it off. Then I can take my die and put it away because I don't need it anymore. And then this is where I can kind of fuzz them a little bit because I can see where the, excuse me. Oh, I can see where the ends are, and that's kind of what I want. And I want to kind of make them into a shape, you know, a circle shape. Oh, hi, Tia. That's my sister. Oh, yeah, Michelle, I'm excited too. I was super excited. I was a little nervous when when Shannon put the call out to see if anyone wanted to, because that's what I like lives more than videos. I'm just busy. I like to create. I'd rather create than have to edit. Does that make sense? You know, it's not that I don't want to edit, but I'd rather be creating more. So, okay. So it's not a perfect circle, but what I'm going to do is use some of my glitter or my glue, and I'm just going to attach each one down a little bit. Actually, that's not true. What I did is I went through and I just put glue on the whole thing. That's what I did. I apologize. I thought about it differently. Annie, that's not my idea. I got it. From Jennifer McGuire did it, and she's used it, and I started trying to use it a little bit more when I do shape things, but I don't do it a ton. So, yeah, Lori, it is family reunion. I told them I was going live, and they said they wanted to watch. So now I'm just going to carefully flip it over and peel it off. See, and it's not perfect because it's not, but that's why I'll use liquid glue, because then you can move it back into, and this piece I've already used, so I may have to get a new piece for the next card. And then you can just move them around to make them into that circle shape just a little bit. I'm not going to move them so much that the glue is going to be, you know, everywhere. And if they are, you can put some embellishment there. There we go. And then, oh, you know what, Shannon? It's funny because I have a cold and I'm all stuffed up. So I stuffed up this morning. So it's, you know, one of those, but thank you. I'm a talker, I can tell you that. So, and you have two choices. You can leave it like this, and then you can leave like these pieces up, but I'm going to leave this flat. So I'm just going to put a couple of drops under the front berry. And, you know, just slip it in there a little bit if it needs it. I found this was just the easiest way than trying to lay one down and then get a shape that's circular. And for those of you who don't know, I'm from Minnesota originally. I live in Iowa now. And my sisters and my mom all live in Minnesota, so I don't see them very often. So another tip I have for you is to, once you're done, I'm not going to do this for a long time, is to take your Misty and just, she's not normally this quiet. Ha, thanks, Lori. Yeah, our goodbyes usually last like half an hour. My kids always used to say, oh, there'll be another half an hour. They're saying goodbye. But is to put your Misty on top, or a second Misty on top, until, you know, I put both my Misties sometimes when I'm gluing something down. I was doing a sentiment yesterday, and I left it there so all the pieces would, then I can walk away and do something else. I'm sure I saw that Friends episode because I've seen them all, because that was one of the things my sorority would do in college, was watch them together, but it's been a long time. Okay, so we are going to get my regular Misty out. I forgot. Next, we got to put a sentiment on this little bad boy. So, take this off, and I'm going to put my and I'm just going to line it up with the top line of my stick and stamp mat, and I am going to put my magnet on it just to hold it in my Misty. And what I'm using is a couple older stamp sets from Brutus Monroe. They are still available as far as I know. And, oh, is it the Smelly Cat one? I think that's probably that one. And this is, I think this one is extra sentimental, and this one is super sentimental. I don't think I mixed them up. I'm going to use the high on the other card, and I'm going to use this happy birthday in here. Thanks, Lori. Now you're thinking about all the stamps that you have and how you could put them into a wreath, right? And so then you just line it up. I eyeball it. I don't care if it's not necessarily straight. It's going to be perfect the way it is. And my mom's going to laugh because she's heard this if she's watching, but if I make a mistake on a card, I send it to my mom because she's going to love it because I made it. Oh, I know what's wrong. I have a little bit of fuzz on this, on my stamp pad here. So give me a second. I'm going to wipe it off here. I don't know if I left it open and got dusty. There we go. If I got a hair or something on it. All right, yeah, that's a juicy ink pad, so we're going to be real careful of this. Hopefully I don't get to it. And then, hey, don't know if she is, but I am. Oh, thanks, it's Julie. I just thought of something. I have a birthday coming up, and so does my sister, who's watching, Tia. Maybe she should get this for her birthday card. Oh, spoiler. Just kidding. All right. Oh, I can push it down a little bit harder. I just didn't know if it's... I didn't know how juicy this was. I didn't want it to... I do have like a little stamp press that I got as a gift from a friend. It's just a piece of wood with some felt on it that I sometimes use too. See, I have some fuzzies, so I'm gonna have to fix it. I'm not liking that it's got some fuzzies. So, you know how I'm going to fix that? Yeah, I send them to my mom because she does. So since I did get some fuzzies on this, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to fix it, because I am not happy with that. I'm not sure what's going on with my stamp and ink, but what I'm going to do is we're just going to quickly get another piece of cardstock. And we're just going to do it again. I'm going to use a different cloth, and we're just going to wipe it off again. You know, this is live, right? I'm going to just try to see if it's something. If I got a fuzzy on my ink pad, then I'm going to have to fix that. If it's on my stamp, that's better. Okay. I'm going to stamp it out. We're just going to die cut it out. One more time. I'm so nervous because I just inked it up. I forgot to do it yesterday to let it sit. I'm afraid I put too much ink and I don't want it to everywhere. All right. So there. We've got our stamp. And I'm just going to leave it in there for now. And then, oh, I had two pieces here. It's still stuck. I just bend it if I'm going to get the piece off carefully, and that pops right off. And I'm going to be kind of quiet for a minute because I'm going to be getting over to my other table to my left here where my die cut machine is. And I'm just going to grab a circle die out of my stash. And some washi tape quick. My mom's the reason I got into card making, Shannon, actually. She took me to one of those home parties years ago. And then she got on... Sorry, somebody just asked me if I was on 8 Central, and I was like, no, I'm live. I can't help you right now. I'm going to die cut that out quicker. Anyway, my mom took me to one of those home parties, and I fell in love with it and started scrapbooking and card making. And I was fortunate enough when I moved to Iowa out of college to find some friends who were card makers and scrapbookers, and fell in love with all of that. So now, even though it might even cover up some of my berries, what I might do, I think I'm going to do I have any extras? I have some extra, not sure what I have extra of. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it down, and then I'm going to stamp out, and I have one right there. I only have one though. I'm going to put another one over the top. We're going to make it a layered card. What time is that? I'm going to run over, and then we have time to do all that. So, oh yeah, we have time. So there, happy accident. So let's grab some of the tissue. Oh, that's not tissue tape. Where's the tissue tape? I'm just going to stick some down. I love that it tears easy. we are going to do a little quick die cut. And then we'll use whatever's left over on our other card. It won't be exactly the same, but it'll be close, right? So we're going to put this down. And then, see, we have some berries there. I could do a couple things. I could use some sequins to fix that, because I think that's what I did on my other card. Or I can very quickly cut out some more flowers, which is what I think we're going to do. I just need to grab the dies quick. So we'll line them up. Thanks for bearing with me, guys. Happy accidents, right? Hi, Tracy. Sorry I couldn't answer you. Thanks for joining. I was already live. I saw your message. I had a happy accident here, so I'm quickly... I am going to cut this out, even though it's I'm not colored yet. That's not going to fit on my little tabletop. I do have this one, I guess, that I should be using for my lives, because it's just a little handy old sidekick thing. All right. Tracy, you're just joining us, but we're making this card. I think that's what that's on the screen. I'm going to quickly die cut out a couple of extra flowers because I made a boo-boo. And we're going to fix it. Sorry, I was lining up my die. I'm not doing that on screen. I know I'm off screen, but I'm trying to save some space on my little table here. And I should have lined up all the dies and cut them all out at once, but I'm just going to do the two, and then I think I can add a couple of the extra flowers after, because I'd like to make the second card as well for sure. And then if we have time, I can go back and fix. So what I'm going to do is we're going to add a little bit. I have some of the Easy Tab Pop Dot, or Easy Tab Pop Dots. Just going to put one little piece on the back of each. I just take my scissors, cut it right up where the tab is if I want it to be smaller. I gotta color the other one. We just lost it. There it is. Quick color it up. Couple berries. Well, many of you, I know Shannon colors with Tri-Blends, I believe, right, Shannon? It's all about the recovery, yeah. Anyone else do Copic Marker coloring? Do you like to watercolor? Do you use colored pencils? Do you prefer not to color at all? I'm not gonna do a ton of blending. I'm just gonna leave it kind of loose there. All right, and then we'll stick up that other pop dot on the back of that one. And then what I like is even when you cut them down in half, you just pull off that Easy Tab real quick. So, and then what we'll do, oops, you can see that one. Well, I didn't push it down super hard, so I can move it over just a little bit. We're just gonna stick it on. And I might even do a little bit of a side wreath. So what I might do, and I'll take a picture of it, and I'll share it in the Brutus Monroe fan club page afterwards, because I would like to make the other card too, is to add some more around the outside. And then, like I said, I'm gonna, because I don't have them stamped out, I'll make some more. Next time I'll know I'll stamp extra. I'm gonna go all the way around. Does that make sense? And I'll put one here, and I'll put one here, and then I'll throw some in. But I want to start on the next card. And then we'll come back to this one, and since I had it. So then what I did is I layered it on a pair of pink cardstock and glued it on an A2 top folding card base. And then for some fun, I added some stickles from my stash just on the berries. I don't know if you can see it. I'm gonna try to scroll up, and I don't know if you can see the stickles on just the berries. And then I added some sequins from my stash around the sentiment. So Like I said, I will do a couple more of those if we have some time at the end, and we'll finish that. Otherwise, I will take a picture if we run out of time, but I want to get started on this card as well. Okay? That's all right with you guys? I'm just going to go catch up with some comments quick. Okay. So for this card, what I did is I just took another piece of white cardstock that's cut down to the same dimensions, 4 by 5 and 5 1/4, and I just started laying on the stamp, on the images that I was using. I just laid them all over. Well, thanks, Tracy. I had a lot of fun playing with it. I just started, I wanted to use up these little stamps from the stamp set, and I just layered and tried to make it so that I covered up any stems, you know, so that you didn't see any stems except maybe down here at the bottom, which is, you know, okay. And it's not going to be exactly right. I'm just going to keep putting some down, put some here. I did all the big flowers first. I tried to mix the green in while I was doing it, and then I went through and added the little flowers. So put some green here. Take it behind. Let's put a piece of green here. We have a little extras, I think. And then I'm like, okay, well, we have some spaces where there's some extra holes. So that's where I went in and I took these little flowers and I kind of attached them just here and there to make it look like it's a little garden. I think I took this one, kind of stuck it up here like it was really sticking out. I'm just going to keep layering. Michelle uses Arteza alcohol markers, tri-blends, aqua penguins, colored pencils, and watercolor pencils. That's a lot. No, I mean, that's good, actually. I don't mean it that way. I just think I love to color, but I do Copics. I just need to do more Copics. I haven't done them in a long time. Are those 3D? Yes, they are. They are. They come in, they do come in, here. These are the Easy Tab. I've got the 100. They're 1/2 inch foam dots, 1 1/16 thickness. They come in black and white. I think they come in 100, and I think you can get them in 500s. And yeah, then the Easy Tabs, I really like them. You move up a little. Move up a little. Thank you. I will go back and make sure I'm on. So they do come in both. I'm almost out. I'm going to have to order some of these, but some more of the white. So I'm just going to keep layering in some of these flowers. And it doesn't have to be perfect right now because we can add more at the very end. So I think I'm going to put a white one here. And like before, they don't have to be perfect where they're laying. They just need to be where they are, where you kind of like them. And then you go ahead and you're going to take some more press and seal. And hopefully this one's sticky enough. And then I'm just going to lay, it's kind of stuck to each other. Is that better, Michelle? I'm just going to stick it on. Oops, stick to myself. Stick it on. And then I'm going to pull it up gently, and I see one got moved, which is okay. And not all of them are going to stick because they were the ones that were behind. So that's where you can come back through and add them in and stick them down. Like I said, this one didn't land quite properly. So, oops, I'm off the screen a little bit. I'm going to stick them back down. And then here is where you just go gonzo crazy with the glue. Yeah, just take the glue and you glue everything you see. Like I said, using liquid glue is, in my opinion, is better here because you have wiggle room. And I just glue, and I'm using the Barely Art Glitter Glue. We got this last year, and I fell in love with it, and I love it. It's my only, and this, I filled it. I had this in the refill, and I've been using it for until June. It'll be a year, and I just filled it for the first time, and I use it on all my projects. So a little goes a long way. All right. So then I have that, and I'm going to just very carefully flip it over. Sorry, that's not fun. I'm just going to stick it down. And it's okay if some of the flowers aren't on, because we're going to stick it down and peel it off. And if some flowers come off, it's okay, because they weren't on the original. So they didn't have the glue on them, because they were on top. And so they didn't get glue, because they were on the layers. Okay. So now, this is where you go in and you add more glue to the places that didn't get it. Move it down just a little bit, because I kind of want them at the bottom. And then what I did, take some glue. I think this one was on top. You got to go through and you got to put glue under the spots that were touching other flowers, because they're overlapping, obviously. And with this fine tip, you can just reach in there and squirt a little glue and get it down. And it looks like this one got underneath, but that's okay, we'll leave it right there. So now I noticed here, I have a little stem piece that kind of got stuck on top of the flower. So because of the liquid glue, I can peel it up and fix it. And now this is where I take all my little extras. All my little extras. And I just add glue, and I add them in the frame. Wherever they are, need some extra flowers. And the little ones are kind of nice in the front, because they can just cover up, you know, some of the flower things, or you could, you know, you can have some more of the I have a bunch of the greenery. Like I said, that one flower is kind of covered there, so I think I'm just going to cover him back up. And then I'll grab a white flower. Just going to keep filling until I like it. Ooh, it's sticking to myself, guys. Alright. So, I think I'm going to add one more of these daisies, and maybe we'll move the sentiment to another spot. And I'm just going to stick it in here, filling right there. And I think I need one more of these little, push the car up 2 squares. Yeah, that's the one thing I don't like about I can't quite see it. And the chat won't come up on my screen without me scrolling up on my tablet. Okay, so I've got this. Now I'm going to let it dry for just a couple seconds. Put that down on top. Just for a second, too, and push it. Yes, Shannon, there are so much things you can do with this set. Let me grab it out while we're letting it dry for just a second. I mean, you've got these cute little bugs. You know, they can hold the flowers. They can hold the berries. You've got the bee that can be over a little flower garden. It's just, there's so much you can do with all of this, the little bubbles and hearts. And there's the little tiny bugs there. You know, we got a love heart here. I think there's so much you can do with this. And then I love the fact you get 40 stamps, and then you get 37 dies. And, it's, you know, you get a die for all of the images. And then I love how they're lined up on this paper, so you know exactly which ones, you know, if you're like, which die is this? You can figure it out. So it's a great set with so many options. How long? You have a little bit of time. I think when you firmly press, that's when it really starts to stick, but it doesn't take, I mean, they're pretty dry. I mean, look, I can't pull those up anymore without probably tearing. So it doesn't take too long. That's why I use it. I just like to, because I had so many, I wanted to make sure I covered them. So then what I need to do is we need to take my little scissors and chop off the flowers that are on the overhang. And these are the scissors I use when I'm using foam adhesive, so they're kind of sticky. So then I have just that, you know, that. So now we just need to line it up and figure out where our sentiment is going to go. But I'm going to use my mini for this. So I'm just going to, tip that I use, if I'm not ready to put the stamp sets away, I just pull them out. If I just have one, I pull them off, I stick them right to my glass mat, and then I put them away at the end of the project. Okay, so I'm going to magnets. And then we're going to use from the Super Sentimental, I believe. Yeah, it dries pretty fast. Shannon's right. I mean, you have some wiggle room, but it doesn't take long to do it. And it might depend on the type of paper you're using. My sister does some mixed media, so she has some thinner paper too, so I'm not sure. I think I'm just going to move it over to this side from the original that I did. Just going to say hi. And we're just going to stamp it down. Ooh, we got one really good kind of image here. I'm going to have to wipe that off. Something's on my stamp. Or my ink pad, but that's fine. There we go. We got our hi. And that's what I thought was just perfect, just a little hi, because you can use those cards for anything. And then I'm going to use, you can use tape runner or glue. Sometimes I usually use tape runner, but it's on the other side of the room, so I just use some of that glue. And I'm gluing it down to a piece of black cardstock, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm just going to eyeball it. I don't always get it on straight. And then I just wipe off a little extra glue if I have it before it dries. And we'll attach this to our card base. Paste is like butter. Oh, okay. I don't know. I haven't seen that before. I think you'd like this, especially for some of the stuff that you're adding in. And as I get you into card making. And I noticed, I think my card base is a little smaller than my front. But I can trim that down a little bit with my trimmer. And then to finish this off, I'm going to add a few sequins, and I like to do odd numbers, and I'm just going to kind of follow what I did before. And I'm just going to put on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Grab my little doohickey gem thingy. One big one there. And there. And these are just from my stash. Oops. Oop. Didn't have enough glue there. It looks like to start. Keep it. And then I can use the little pointer to move it or scoop up any extra glue. And then put one more right here. And that is almost finished. I guess I need to visit. Yes. The last thing I did is I took my little stickles here. And of course it's dried out. I've had this stuff forever in my stash. So you could probably use some, I like the Pearl Aqua pigment. I'm trying to, and you could just dab it on, but I'm just going to use a little bit of this. And I'm just going to dab it on the whites of the little dots. Just to give it some sparkle. And all the little white dots. And then I'm going to set, I missed a couple right there. I don't know if you'll be able to see it before it dries. And that is this card. So there's that one. Let's see, what time is it? We still have some time, so we can work on that other card again when we grab it. I'll set this one aside to dry for a few minutes, and let's get this one, see what we can do with this one. I have some extra stuff here. So we need 2 more berries, and we have enough of these. So let's get them stamped out. How does that sound? Some sauce. Where did my paper go? I have some more. There it is. We'll just get a brand new sheet. Does anybody have any questions? I didn't really ask that, but I figured you guys would ask if you had some questions. So I need to stamp this a couple of times. I need like 2 of them. So I'll just do one here. And move it to the other side. And get one there. And then make it work. Awesome. Perfect. I suppose I should wipe that off so I don't get it on the thing. Okay. Like I said, that was very wet before, so because I just inked it up, so blowing it off just a little bit. Make sure that sentiment font looks like it was made for us. Yeah, that's one of the first stamp sets I bought because I liked all the sentiments in it and it had such a wide range. And so when I was making the cards, I was like, oh, let's find something perfect. I'm like, let's pull out. I knew that I could probably find a sentiment in one of those 2 stamp sets. They're so versatile. And so I thought, we'll just pull them out, and I just started kind of putting them over the top, and I was like, I can always use more birthday cards. And I have a couple birthdays coming up here. Both my sisters have birthdays coming up. My mom already had her birthday. My mom, she's probably listening. She always gets a blue snowflake because she loves blue and she loves snow. And she lives in northern Minnesota, so you know there's snow there from Halloween to Easter usually. So I just decided to always make. The last couple of years I've always made her some sort of blue snowflake birthday card, just because I figured it works. Oh, you know what? Press and seal is great for that. I mean, you can use it for this, for any of those. You know, lining up Shannon with the new. The floral die set that just came out. I can't think of the name off the top of my head. It's sitting right here, but I can't reach it. That Fabulous Florals, is that what it's called? And you know, layering them and putting them together, it just makes it awesome. So what we're going to do is we're just going to quick cut these off here. I'll save this for another day. And we'll cut these out quick. I just love how these dies line up so fast and easy. Where are my plates? Okay. They line up. Oops, I just moved it. I know I'm off screen a little bit. I'll come back on in just a second. Just doing some die cutting. Everyone kind of knows what that looks like. I gotta ask Lori and Julie, are you watching together or are you watching separately? Oh, Annie, you'll like it too. Like I said, it's great. Look at how perfect those cut out. I never have a problem lining up these dies, ever. They're just perfect. And I want dies for all. I want to go back and say, can I get dies for all my favorite stamp sets? Please. Ones I keep using. I don't care if they're, you know, old. I want to just have them for all of them. All right. There we go. That should be enough to make our card finished. Here. Okay. Just make sure. And, you know, another fun tip is sometimes I just stick my dang nets right to my MISTI until I'm done so that I don't lose them. If I don't have the carrier sheet close. All right, we're going to cut down, we're going to cut down a couple more of the easy dots here. Trying to decide what I should do for my next live in a couple weeks. As those that are watching, is there something on the subscription products you'd like to see? I have an idea, but I would use another product. I have the die of the month, the stencil of the month. I have some of the paper. I'll stick that here. If we watch together, we both want to create stuff after watching it. Yeah, and then you wouldn't go to work tomorrow. It'd be all my fault, right? So we've got that. Here's those. And then I don't know how I want to do this for sure. I think I'm going to not pop the leaves up. I'm going to mini pop dots. Yeah, I cut them down. They seem to work pretty good, you know, that way. So I'm just going to kind of sneak it in right here. And then press it down and let it sit. And then we'll grab another one. Well, it sounds like, ladies, we just need to get together and craft again. And then I don't want to color up my sentiment, so I'm being really careful to not really press it into my too hard into it, so that I can move it without getting any ink or glue on that sentiment. If I cover it a little bit, it's okay. Just quick throw some more liquid glue on this one. Trying not to cover all of those berries that are on the bottom. But you get the idea that they're there, and I'm trying to make sure all my ends are covered. Of all my, I mean, obviously these berry rodents don't have them covered, but. Oh, that's sweet. Hi, Bonnie, when you're watching this later. Thank you so much, Bonnie. Sorry I didn't get out with you guys last weekend. I hope you had fun. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do with this one? I'm going to do a little trim. Don't tell anybody. I'm just going to stick it in like that. Stick it underneath. And look at that. We fixed it. We fixed it. We fixed my little problem with my stamps. So now to finish off the card. Michelle, I don't do a lot of mixed media. I am mostly card make. I mean, I guess you could say yes. I could say yes, but not in the terms that I consider mixed media like my sister does. Like, I don't mind using, I like to use the glazes and glitters and paper. But I prefer card making, like with dies and stamps and coloring more. I don't like to watercolor, like I said, because it's out of my comfort zone, but I'm trying. I have something coming up next month that I watercolored. But I like to ink smush. What I really like are stencils. Stencils are my favorite because you can do so much with them. Mini mixed media, exactly. And I don't do a lot of, I don't do a ton of ribbon anymore. I used to, the big thing was always ribbon. I'm trying to do a little bit more inspired by Miss Shannon. But I do mostly this type of card making where I'm stamping and coloring or squishing down, some chroma mists or aqua pigments and making a squished background. So, okay, so there we've got that. And then, like the last card, we'll do the same thing. I'm going to add just a little bit of, oops, let's get that on some paper, make sure it's flowing good and burp in there so I don't get any air bubbles. Just a little bubble. I'm doing it right actually where I did my shading, so I guess I didn't have to shade. You're not going to necessarily see it. And I like to add just a little sparkle, a little sugar to my cards. So for those of you, if you don't know when you see me in the chats on the other lives, I go by Candi V and Sugar Cards. Sugar Cards is my Instagram, and I do that because, and that's like my blog post is Sugar Cards by Candi. I think I do Sugar Cards because that's what, with my first name being Candi, my boyfriend called me, and I stuck with it. I liked it. He called me Sugar, so I thought that would be fun for card making. And I think like the sugar is like the bling. The sugar is the bling. So just add a few more of these little sparkle gems, and that is it. Some mini mixed media on some future lives. We can work on that. I'll try to get out of my comfort zone and see what I can do for you, Michelle. I thank you. I actually like this, how this one turned out a little bit more with the dimension. And I still have some extras left. So there are 2 cards. There's the 2 cards, the sample I made. And look at the, yeah, I like the dimension too. I might have to go back and add some dimension. And then, let me just go down so I make sure I see what's going on here. I don't want to get off screen. And then we have this card, which is the card we made tonight. And the sample card, which are just a little different. So I hope you enjoyed tonight. Don't forget to subscribe to Bruce Monroe. Give a thumbs up if you like. Make a comment. I will try to put some links in. May not get to it tonight, but I can put the links in to the products in the store for sure tomorrow morning. And I will share a picture of these over on the Brutus Monroe fan club page. And I thank you for joining with me, and I will see you next time. Okay? Don't forget to create your own ending and have a great night. Thank you. Bye.